Hello, everyone. Andy Jacob here with the DotCom Magazine Entrepreneur Spotlight Series. Buckle up, everybody. We have an amazing show today. You know, as everybody knows who watches our show, we like bringing in the preeminent experts, the worldwide leaders in their specific space. And, you know, one thing that's very, very important and one thing that's very interesting to the people at DotCom Magazine, as well as all of our viewers, obviously, is consumer engagement technology. And so many people reach out to me. They say, Andy, listen, you have so many interesting people on the show. You've had so many people in this space on the show, but reach out to someone who really can explain what it's all about. We want you to bring a worldwide leader on the show, and we've booked a fabulous guest today. Her name is Alexi Venneri, and she is remarkable. Wait till you Google her and see everything that she does and read about her company. We're going to get into it today, but she's the co-founder and CEO of Digital Airstrike. When you hear how many satisfied clients they have, how many employees they have, I mean, they're burgeoning, they're building out at the seams. I mean, it's incredible what Alexi and the entire team has done. Alexi, let me just start by thanking you so much for coming on the DotCom Magazine Entrepreneur Spotlight Series today.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
All right, Alexi, here we go. This is going to be fun. Let's pull the lens back to 30,000 feet to start with. And in the unlikely event that somebody has not already heard of Digital Airstrike, tell us what it's all about.
Absolutely. Well, we provide really digital air cover for businesses. So we are out there monitoring and listening on the social networks for when consumers engage and mention a business or their industry. And then we actually strike. So we have a team in technology that will jump right in and assist a business in that online communication engagement journey. So whether we can answer a question, we can make sure their review sites have great information, the social networks get answers, get likes, all the way through to really providing AI technology to directly engage one-to-one with consumers. So whether that's using chat or texting or emailing them information, we want to be that extension of the in-person team at a business and leverage technology so that consumers have a better experience and they do more business with the businesses that work with us.
It's so powerful what you do. We're going to get into it a little bit more, and we're also going to talk about your entrepreneurial journey that's so fascinating. I mean, building this company with your amazing team that you've been able to assemble. But of course, Digital Airstrike, when we think about it, you're striking the customer while it's hot. I mean, you're striking them right then and there, right when they need to be struck so that you can engage for your clients and put that client in the best position to earn that customer's business. So let's talk about that because I love the idea. It's really remarkable.
Thank you. Well, Digital Airstrike really looks at it in 3 different platforms. So on the awareness side, we want to get our business clients found leveraging tools and technology very effectively. So we help them with very targeted, streaming on Amazon, the network, or on social networks, so the consumers can first of all find the business. Then we make sure they don't defect from the lead funnel. We make sure that reviews get answered and there's great content. And then we nurture those leads on our engagement platform. So that's where we will respond to questions, reviews, actually send round-the-clock 24/7 information and build personalized dynamic micro websites for the consumers to answer their questions and get them information. And then we don't just stop when they buy from a business. We also survey consumers. Every night we send out nightly surveys by text and email to find out how was that experience. So hopefully it was great. We give them an easy way to push a button and create an online review to become spokespeople to keep feeding that funnel of leads. Or if it wasn't great for whatever reason, we alert our business owners in our mobile app to say, hey, we got to take action. This person isn't happy. Fix it and maybe save them so they don't go out and leave negative online reviews.
I love it. I mean, look, it's remarkable. You've improved consumer engagement, for over 8,000 businesses nationwide. It's really incredible. Your team is busting at the seams. You're known for bringing the best of the best on to your team. I mean, it's well known throughout the industry. And the area that you focus in on and really built your reputation on was automotive. And of course, you're in other spaces now, but let's talk about that automotive industry and how important this consumer engagement led by your company for your clients is to help them with their businesses.
Yes, Digital Airstrike has always been open to working in multiple industries, and we do have clients in a lot of industries. Really, our sweet spot is when there is, a multiple location model. So like a franchise model where the corporate brand, and if it's automotive, maybe that's General Motors, could be impacted negatively or ideally positively by good consumer experiences or any experience at the retail level. And then the individual locations also have a need to be able to transact and nurture those leads and make sure that they are performing really well compared to maybe their other rooftops in the group in the franchise model. So obviously automotive does have that model, and it is our largest vertical. We've been really fortunate to be able to grow that footprint in that space, really because we've been innovative and creative and always working really hard for our clients to partner with them to provide them innovative solutions. So we started during the recession when they didn't have a lot of money. They didn't have inventory, cash for clunkers, and dealers were shutting down back in the recession. And we're sort of having a deja vu moment right now with the pandemic because they're going through very similar things. And our tools helped them then. They're helping them even more now. So we've actually grown over the last year because automation, technology, also just reaching out to consumers to get them to trade in vehicles has been important when their new vehicle supply has been limited. So there's a lot of ways we turn the dial up or down or change the levers that we work with our clients, really always being flexible to customize a solution that works with them. So they get found. Every lead is very important. We make sure every consumer gets answered and gets nurtured so they want to buy from our businesses. And then we always make sure ultimately the entire journey of that customer was good. And if it was, we want to turn them into raving fans online.
I love it. And of course, one thing that caught our attention, and we just loved it so much. I mean, when the team at DotCom magazine brought it to me, we actually sat around and we spoke about it for an hour, where you say that the Digital Airstrike CX technology, which is, a proprietary technology platform that you have, gives your clients an unfair online advantage. And we love that so much. I mean, it really is interesting. Now, when somebody comes to you and they say, hey, we've heard about what you're doing, you can't turn anywhere, especially in the automotive space, without hearing about your company. What's the onboarding sound like? What's the first call sound like that your team has with a potential client?
That's a great question. Well, we don't actually talk to anyone unless we do our homework. So we go out there and we do an intel report for every potential client that would work with us. And we just look at what the consumers would see. What's the experience? Are there broken links on different social networks? Are they not kept up? Are reviews not being answered? Are they not optimizing their Google My Business profile? So we find all the ways we can help them out of the gate. And before we even do a call. And then on that call, we share some free information. So I would encourage any business owner that wants to take advantage of that to reach out to us, because it really is helpful. And then on that call, we show them ways that we could actually do it for them. Once they become a client, we onboard them with something we call a battle plan call. So we feel like business owners, you're so busy running your business. You've got those ground troops right there, day-to-day interacting with prospects and customers. We want to take care of your digital airspace, but we also need to know what you're doing in your business so we can really customize a program. And we assign a team of really, Airstrike team members to each business, whether we're going to be creating custom content, we're going to be integrating with your CRM to automatically nurture leads, and you can still go see the results in the systems you're used to looking at. You don't need to log into our platforms. We want to do it for you. So that really is the customization on the battle plan call, and we introduce them to a full team, and they're real people. They're right here in the US, and you get to know them. You can reach out to them. We're very transparent. We can be sending you daily updates every time we do something to help a consumer find your business, buy from your business, and become a loyal long-term customer of your business.
I love it, Alexi. And for the entrepreneurs watching the show, rewind what Alexi just said about knowing your customer even before you speak to them. Put together a plan before you even speak to them. It's so important because you want to know about your customer so that you can provide them what they need. So you have to understand what they're all about. Now, you mentioned these reviews. Okay, let's talk about this just for a second, because I always see the reviews, and the bad reviews, most oftentimes the CEO or somebody from the team responds to the bad reviews. But when we look at the good reviews, is it as important for the young founders, the young CEOs, the young startup founders to respond to the good reviews as well? Should startup founders be responding to both the good and the bad reviews, or is it just important to respond to the bad reviews?
100% to respond to everything. So the good reviews are already a billboard for your company. What our team does in our technology is we will expand on that in an answer. So we will help craft an answer that can be sent to that business owner or founder where they can edit it, they can approve it, it can still come from them in their voice. But really, you want to take the one nugget, let's say that happy consumer talks about, and expand on it. You know, they like your service. Why don't you, in your response, go talk about all the other things you can do to make sure every consumer has a great experience. That is a free online billboard for you. You don't have to pay for. Absolutely do that 100%. We've had many of our clients say that they've had sales, consumers walk in and say, we are buying from you just because you answer to both the good and the bad. And that's our team and our technology helping them do that. Now, on the negative, it's kind of an art, and we've perfected it now over a decade. So out of the gate, we've learned that you want to personalize it. That consumer took the time, they're upset, whether it's right or wrong, whatever they say, you want to apologize for their experience and not admit wrongdoing. And then our tools and technology will actually go through and identify a number of things. So first of all, a lot of the review sites don't actually police all of their content to their own T's and C's, their terms and conditions. So we know about privacy restrictions around things like, for example, a lot of the sites you can't name an individual at the retail business in your review. So we find ways to work directly with the review sites, sometimes to take down the negative content for some of those reasons. Either way, though, we want to prepare a response, and we always ask that consumer to reach out to the most senior person in the business directly to get their situation resolved. That shows that somebody in the business cares, that they're ready to talk to them, and it takes the he said, she said, offline, which is what you want to do. So there's a number of things that we do. That's just one strategy, but we also provide a platform for the many people that would never leave a review because it's hard to leave a review. They have to create an account. They got to go online. We make it easy in a quick text or email survey, and we've built direct pipelines into many review sites. So that consumer can just in the survey go, yep, I want to turn that into a review. Let's say on cars.com, and there it is. So a lot of ways that we can work with businesses just to give them, more control really of these platforms, and to give their consumers a bigger voice. Because most consumers are happy when they're buying from a business, or else the business won't be around very long.
Alexi, it's so powerful. Again, rewind what she just said. I mean, you're getting little MBA nuggets, Harvard MBA events all the way through the interview. This is awesome. Now, Alexi, let's talk about speed, okay? Because one thing that bothers me is that when I go on a website or I'm on social and I reach out to a company and I want to engage with them because I want to buy something from them or I want some information, it takes a long time for those companies to get back to me. And that just drives me crazy. As a matter of fact, in my mind, they lose my business because they don't get back to me quickly.
Right.
So let's talk about, Digital Airstrike's philosophy about speed of interaction and how important that is to the dealerships and the other companies in various verticals that you work with.
That's right. Well, first of all, those companies you mentioned probably don't work with us because we have a solution for that. But no, speed is so crucial. So what we do, though, it's not a one size fits all. So we like to integrate with the business's CRM system and let the CRM kind of be the book of record, so to speak. And we work with each business owner around their rules of engagement. So if their rule is someone at their business has to pick up the phone and call within 15 minutes, great. We just sit back and wait. But once that clock hits, 15 minutes and 1 second, we want our tools and technology to jump in. So it's kind of like an engagement insurance policy. It doesn't have to be on all the time. But then based on how that consumer interacts and the business rules set up in conjunction with the business and the CRM, we would jump into action, and that's where we strike. We also give consumers more ways to get answers. So they don't often like that phone call. Or, maybe they prefer to text with someone at the business. We are really omni-channel. So that consumer has control to say, I'd rather text or I'd rather email. And then we recognize those preferences and we give the business an easier way where they still control the conversation if they want to. They can still be on their phone or on our system behind the scenes answering themselves as real people, but it helps that consumer get it in a consistent format. And what it also does for the business owner, now all of that communication is in our platform that we can feed into the CRM. You don't necessarily always want random staff people texting on their personal cell phones, your prospects and customers. What if they quit? What if they go somewhere else? Now they're taking your contacts with them that you've paid for, you've earned. So, and you're also not able to then really monitor behavior if it's all on personal cell phones. So there's a lot of reasons why a platform like ours makes sense. And really business owners, you can't afford not to have something to track this these days. And a lot of CRM systems don't always have the bells and features and whistles and they can't do the things that we can do. There's a reason why we have 4 patents and 1 pending, because we really recognized a decade ago the importance of really capturing, monitoring, and automating and leveraging AI in that customer communication journey.
It's so awesome. Prior to the interview, I was thinking, and I spoke to my team about it, should I say every single award that Alexi has received? And we started looking at the awards, and I said, it's going to take up 15 minutes just talking about all the awards. So regardless, we're not going to mention all the awards. For the people watching the show, there's a lot of them, from Women of the Year awards to technology awards, automotive awards from the industry. But what I wanted to ask you was, when you wake up in the morning, okay, what gets you going? I mean, you've got so many employees, you have so many companies that are under the umbrella of your company. You're reaching amazing successes, and I know you have big things planned for the future as well. What's the thing that gets Alexi going? Because younger entrepreneurs may be watching the show and they might be saying to themselves, wow, she's got a big company. She's everywhere. She's on the speaking circuit. She's on daises. She's on these types of interviews. But they might be saying to themselves, is there something special that gets her going in the morning, that gets her sort of motivated to attack the day in the way in which she does?
Well, I'll tell you, and thank you for that question. Originally, when I started the company, I was so motivated to help businesses through the recession because it's a domino effect. If we can help them grow their business, retain customers, they hire more people and they stay in business, and they're helping a lot of people stay employed. And if you can use technology for good and social media for good, that gets me really excited. And today it's very similar. Now it's different. It's more about supply chain issues. And in fact, some businesses are finding it hard to hire. It's not back in the recession where, people couldn't get a job, right? So, but now it really is, I think, helping consumers and businesses transact in the new way. They are at home more. They're not walking into as many brick and mortar stores. How do you help them really make that pivot? And those consumers, with their hard-earned dollars, find the best business and products for them. So that is super exciting for me. I've also been very fortunate. Now we have, we're going on almost 200 team members. I love being able to give them a place where they want to grow their career. We've got a lot of benefits. We like to do things creatively. We give back. Every year we give back to about 100 charities. That is so thrilling for me. And again, interacting with those business owners, interacting with those CEOs, I love it when we can come up with new solutions to keep on innovating with them to kind of continue to grow their business as well as ours. So it's really a great time. I'm so thankful for our clients and all of our team members.
I love it, Alexi. And of course, some of those nonprofits you help out are animal nonprofits. And we love that so much. We know that you have a big heart for the animals and the nonprofits in the animal space. So we love that you do that. And that's amazing. Now, I know you're proud of your team. And I know your team's going to be watching this show, and they're going to watch the Entrepreneur Spotlight series. So maybe we could take a minute just to have you share with the audience and your team how important it is to have a great team that really are committed to the mission of making sure your clients succeed.
I think our team is absolutely everything. We're very diverse. That's the first thing. gender, ethnicity, orientation. We want to be, welcome to all. And that gives us a competitive advantage. You need all types of folks in a business to really engage with all types of consumers and business owners. So we have an incredible team. It is our secret weapon, and I'm very, very proud of them. And they're really committed. We have a lot of longevity. We have a lot of individuals that started with us 6, 7, 8, 10 years ago and have grown their career here. That's also a lot of expertise, a lot of subject matter experts that really understand all the social networks. They understand Google, SEO, PPC, now Amazon and streaming and cord cutters. So the fact that you get all of these humans that are so dedicated to working with so many businesses across the country and even outside of the US it's gold. It's everything. Pair that with award-winning technology that we build in-house. It's a very powerful combination. So I hope that a number of businesses take a look at us and give us a shot. And we'd love to just have a conversation. We also do a lot of educational events. We do white papers. We do webinars. So even if you just want to learn and you want to join one of those, I would encourage you to check out our website at digitalairstrike.com.
And there's so much there, and you're really an open sort of commode of so much information. You must believe the more information you give, the better, because it's just a great website. There's so much great information available with white papers and analysis and case studies. Now, you're an accomplished public speaker. Anybody can see that. Of course, you're an author of a best-selling book called Balls, The 6 Rules for Winning Today's Business Game, which I love. So maybe for the entrepreneurs watching the show, maybe you could give out a couple of those winning business strategies that are in your book and maybe give them a little tease. Let's not tell them all of them because we'll send them to Amazon to buy the book, but maybe just a couple rules to succeed at winning a business.
Sure. Well, I definitely believe that the devil's in the details. And as a leader, startup or an established business, you have to be very bifocal. So you have to have the vision, but you have to jump down and look at the detail, look at cash flow, look at your vendor list, look at margin, make sure you're once in a while, even if you don't sign all the checks, you're looking at them. So that is very important. Another tip that I have, it's about taking care of your people and don't just offer the regular benefits. What can you do that's a little different? I'll give you one example. A lot of businesses have president's clubs, those big trips, and they send the top sales performers on it. It takes a village. It takes the whole company at Digital Airstrike to succeed. So every month we have an award that's called Whatever It Takes. And the people that nominate, the people that get nominated, and the winners get different entries so they can win a spot on that big President's Club trip. So that's just being thoughtful and mindful and creating a great culture of doing whatever it takes. And that's really, really important to us. I would say that we also like to get noticed ourselves. So we have to be found for Digital Airstrike if we're going to help other businesses get found online. So we get creative. We don't let a pandemic stop us. When we couldn't do trade shows and throw big, dinners and parties for our clients, we got creative and we found ways to get smaller groups together at unique locations, such as, a couple of times this year, we were able to bring our top clients to go meet and hang out with Richard Branson. So some really cool things like that. Just always thinking creatively. And that's really in our DNA as Digital Airstrike.
Alexi, it's awesome. And of course, I know you've only cut out a certain amount of time for me today, and I really want to thank you for coming on the show. It's going to be very enlightening for the people watching, for the younger entrepreneurs, for any entrepreneur, whether they're an Inc. 500, an Inc. 5000, a Fortune 100 company, or a startup. But here we go. I want to turn this last question into entrepreneurship because we have younger entrepreneurs that watch this show. And, sometimes they hit a roadblock. Sometimes they hit a wall that they can't get over, or maybe they freeze in the frame because they've never done it before. So they might be watching you, Alexi, and they might be saying to themselves, wow, does she ever have a roadblock? What does she do if she hits a roadblock? Maybe you can give some advice to the younger entrepreneurs watching the show that are hitting a roadblock on what they need to do to get through it and come out the other end.
Sure. I would say we've all had roadblocks. And, reach out, get, advice, have a mentor, Don't be afraid to fail. And that sounds really cliche, but we all do it every single day. But celebrate those successes, focus on the wins, and learn from the times you made a mistake, and just put in a new process that'll help you avoid that mistake in the future. It's all about hard work, creativity, and resilience, I think, as an entrepreneur. And that's really why the book was called Balls. You got to be brave, authentic, loud, lovable, and spunky. And the last rule, the sixth rule, was an inverted I, to say, get inspired and go do something. You have to try a lot of things. Everyone in business, you're gonna need to shift your business model and adjust. And I love a saying we have around here is the only constant at Digital Airstrike is change. So if you can embrace that as an entrepreneur, don't be afraid to ask questions. There are so many resources online. Go watch those webinars, download the white papers, reach out to other entrepreneurs, and just don't give up and don't be afraid to change, because it is going to change. You have to be very resilient and open to change, and embrace technology. The more you can automate, the better. The more that you can, leverage, partner with other companies, use their software. That's really key.
I love it so much. And of course, I'm going to have to invite you back on the show. I already have a name for the show. I'm going to call it Amazingness with Alexi. That's what we're going to call it. Wow. Well, listen.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And the companies that hire you, they get the best of the best technology, the best people, the best years of experience to make sure that really their brand gets handled in the most powerful way by the most powerful technology and the most powerful people in the industry. So there's really an unfair advantage over the competition when somebody hires your company at Digital Airstrike. So it's super powerful. So Alexi, thank you so much for coming on the show. This has been remarkable. I'm bringing you back. It's going to be called Amazingness with Alexi on the next show. And thank you so much for coming on the .com Magazine Entrepreneur Spotlight Series today.
Oh, thank you. I like to call it being driven, and there's passion and action here. We definitely are all focused around getting our business clients results, and we think like owners as well. So thank you so much. I appreciate your time, and I appreciate all of our amazing clients that work with Digital Airstrike.